the DigiPodcast, Digital Trends in Supply Chain Management.
Hello and welcome to our DigiPodcast. I'm Thomas Holzner from Siemens SCM Digi Network with the DigiPodcast, a podcast on digital and innovative topics for procurement in the future. Digitalization is becoming increasingly important for every company. At Siemens in particular, digitalization is a fundamental element for success. Today we look at something special. We have the head of Siemens SCM Supply Chain Management from the Great Middle Kingdom from China here. Hi Michael Handel, how are you? And it's nice that you are here with us.
Thank you, Thomas, for the invitation. I'm doing well. Fine, thanks. I'm very happy joining our DigiPodcast.
Thanks a lot. And I think especially nowadays, it's really a challenge for you. I know Michael since several years and he's doing a brilliant job in China for 3 years. I think it's quite worthwhile for our listeners that you share with us how you coped with the crisis of the last few years, like Corona, like the suggestion at the harbors, and what was your approach there?
Yeah, thank you, Thomas, for the question. At first, China is an amazing country. Everything is high speed, innovative, and digital. For example, if you leave your home, you don't need to bring your wallet. It's okay if you have your cell phone with you. It's a country with great business opportunities, and Siemens does an excellent job in accelerating our business here. Of course, we have seen a lot of challenges, and one challenge to start with is just the language, at least for me. So after 3 years, I'm far away from being good in this. But also there are more challenges, like the limitation of traveling outside of China. So just this summer, I've been back to Germany, to Europe for 2.5 years. So it was not so easy to leave the country and coming back. The lockdown in Shanghai was a special experience for all of us. Not only keeping the factories running, because we have had logistic challenges, we have material challenges, we couldn't get products in and out, but also to ensure your own supply of food and necessities. At the end of the day, you have to live with it and you have to always find solutions to overcome such challenges. That's why tolerance, flexibility is really important here in China.
So if I understood it correctly, from your home office, you managed SCM China during the crisis?
This is absolutely true. Our office was locked and my compound was locked for almost 11 weeks. Yeah? And of course, all the supply chain management topics have to be coordinated, supplier escalations, meetings, and making sure we feed our factories. And this has been done, of course, all virtually. But I think similar topics we have seen also in Europe just 1 year before.
I think that's amazing because for now going into details, SCM in China is considered as a really high performance organization and is creating a lot of value, not only for China, also for Siemens SCM globally, with a lot of, say, new suppliers, keeping the supply chain stable. So can you give us some insights on how it's structured?
Sure, Thomas. The most important elements of success are collaboration and empowerment. Especially the collaboration between the commodity management, like the colleagues who are driving the strategy, the contracts, and the local buying, being close to the business and doing the execution is key for a high-performance SCM organization. But also the openness to learn from others, like from other countries, companies, but also to take advantage of all the good stuff which has been developed in headquarters in regards to SCM. Not always possible to copy-paste, but at least to copy, modify, and adjust it to the local requirements. I think this is important. What we see here also in China is that we need speed. We need to have innovation, and we see a lot of new trends popping up here, and that's why we have to be really close to this market and to take advantage of those developments for the benefit of Siemens.
Great. So this means we take what we have and then we do the blending to the local circumstances.
Absolutely right.
Because that leads immediately to one of our core questions. What about digitalization and what about the Digi network in China?
I mean, digitalization in China is not only an SCM priority. We have launched a company-wide program headed by our top management to drive digitalization in SCM, but also in other, let's say, functions. In SCM, we have started more than 3 years ago to implement a Digi network with volunteers. In the meanwhile, we have close to 40 contributors across all businesses and functions. They are driving digitalization with focus on their daily work. On the other side, I drive central programs like increasing the no-touch rate, improving processes via process mining, taking out unnecessary steps, becoming faster, and at the end of the day, more lean. And this together makes us, of course, very competitive. And it's always a task which is not done tomorrow. It's more a midterm project we are running here. I think digitalization is one of the most important ingredients for a high value adding organization, not only today, but also tomorrow.
Thanks. That fits wonderful to the DigiPodcast because we are convinced about this. And as you are in the center or in the heart of one of the, say, most modern, innovative mega cities of the world, what's your personal outlook, the view? What are the biggest challenges or the most important things for procurement in the future?
I mean, the most, let's say, challenging part is not only to run digitalization and professional supply chain management with your first-tier suppliers. We have to manage the ecosystem. We have to be part of a larger ecosystem between customers and suppliers, have to get in touch with second-tier, third-tier suppliers. We have to have the opportunity to drive digitalization whole along the value chain. And of course, this is a major task which cannot be done overnight. It's also clear, but step by step, we can get there. Also, to drive sustainability, you need digitalization as an enabler because those are the most important topics which we have on the radar screen. And as I said, digitalization is a major enabler of getting our, let's say, objective accomplished.
I think that's good to hear that in China, sustainability is important and we use what we see as core digitalization as a lever to getting better. If I understood you correctly, you don't have an analog wallet anymore.
This is absolutely true, Thomas. In China, you use your cell phone for pretty much everything, for showing your health code, for paying all your invoices, your restaurants, but also use it for taxi and for the subway and for everything else. So you don't need to bring your wallet anymore. It's enough if you have your cell phone with you.
I think that we should also consider in Germany as a benchmark. And coming to my most favorite question, last but not least, who is Michael?
Okay, a personal question. I guess I like to explore new things and try out new ways. This maybe is also the reason why I moved to Asia after living in the US and Europe before. On a private side, I'm passionate in sports. I like running, skiing, mountain biking. Of course, the last two, I'm struggling in China, especially in Shanghai, because the highest mountain has not even 100 meters. But Thomas, since I know that you're also a mountain biker, I hope we can team up together in Europe and can have one or the other two together.
First of all, thanks a lot for the insights, Michael, and definitely we will go for a ride. I heard some rumors that you're from Franconia in Switzerland, and with the steep hills and downs there, it must be really fun and a little bit of challenging. And then to all our listeners, I hope you have enjoyed this Chinese episode of our DigiPodcast. If you have questions or want to find out more about the Digi Network or about Michael and SCM China, reach out to our internet page siemens.com/DigiNetwork. I'm looking forward to have you as a listener next time. And yours, Thomas Holzner from the Siemens SCM Digi Network. Goodbye.
The DigiPodcast, Digital Trends in Supply Chain Management.